Time now for the morning rush. Crews likely back at work this morning, cleaning up debris across New Mexico, all left behind by yesterday's bomb cyclone. Now, at least a dozen cars or semis being knocked around near Wagon Mountain along I-25. High winds also derailing an entire train car near Logan, and the roof of a school ripped off in Roswell. There were also whiteout conditions in the northern mountains. Wind gusts as high as 100 miles per hour were clocked near White Sands. And cleanup crews continue their work in Dexter, and they say they're going to be back to work today after suspending their efforts yesterday, citing blowing dust and debris. Now, at least 6 people were injured after a tornado ripped through on Tuesday. State police have called in officers from other districts to help secure a perimeter around Dexter to prevent looting. Now, the county is also requesting that financial assistance be given from the state. Kristen.
Well, this week's big weather maker is on its way out. So left behind, we've got some snow showers in our northern mountains. As far as accumulation goes, it's 4 to 8 inches possible of additional snowfall up across the San Cristos, a couple inches in the Jemez. Albuquerque flurries this morning. It's not going to amount to much, and we're going to continue to see clearer skies and more sunshine through the day tomorrow. David?
Authorities say a woman is okay and recovering today after an avalanche buried a home in Taos. Happening yesterday morning across from the Taos Ski Valley. Officials say the woman was taken to Holy Cross Hospital. And again, it's unclear how badly she was injured. But then back in January, you can remember that 2 men visiting New Mexico were killed during a rare inbounds avalanche at Taos Ski Valley. Well, the Colorado community grieving this morning following the loss of a state patrol officer who was responding to a crash during the bomb cyclone yesterday. State Patrol Corporal Daniel Groves died after being hit by a car while responding to a crash. Meanwhile, in Colorado Springs, you can see right there, officials say the winds were equal to that of a Category 2 hurricane. Crews were working to restore power across parts of the state, and yesterday more than 100,000 people were without power. Just in, former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke is the latest person to jump in as a Democrat into the presidential race.
That I'm running to serve you as the next president of the United States of America.
O'Rourke has been toying with the idea since narrowly losing his 2018 Senate race to Republican incumbent Ted Cruz. The El Paso native has been a vocal critic of President Trump's border wall. There are more than a dozen candidates who are running for the Democratic ticket. Washington lawmakers gathering today likely to vote on a resolution rebuking President Trump's national emergency declaration at the border. GOP senators have been trying to convince the administration to find different ways to pay for the border wall. Now, if the Senate approves the resolution, President Trump has threatened to veto that measure. Well, the state's minimum wage bill now awaits the governor's signature. Senate Bill 437 passed 43 to 21 last night. Currently, New Mexico's minimum wage is $7.50 an hour, but pending the governor's signature beginning in October, the minimum wage will go up $1, and wages will also be raised for servers making tips. The governor is likely to sign that bill. Also on its way to Governor Lujan Grisham's desk, both House Bill 5 and Senate Bill 1. Those bills making major changes to the state's education system. Now, they provide teachers with a pay raise and give more funding to programs for at-risk students. They also allow schools to opt in for K-5+ programs that will extend instruction time for elementary students. This morning, people are concerned about a music festival coming here to a city property. Parade of Bass is taking place in May at the Albuquerque Balloon Museum. 6 years ago, a 14-year-old girl died from an overdose at a foam festival on the fairgrounds. But the city says an event of this size goes through several city departments before getting the final okay. Organizers will work with APD to figure out security for the event. New Mexico tribes will now have more of a say about topics that could affect them here in the city. According to the Journal, Mayor Tim Keller signed a measure requiring the city to expand its commission. This is on American Indian and Alaska Native affairs from 5 to 9 members. Mayor Keller says city relationships with tribes can impact public safety, jobs, and homelessness. Right now, migrants in southern New Mexico can receive help from a mobile medical van. Now, these migrants have been processed and released by ICE. They are also awaiting asylum hearings. Now, the first mobile unit was deployed in Las Cruces this week. It's from the New Mexico Department of Health. Kristen.
Today's Metro Threat Index out of 4. Have a few flurries out there this morning. It won't measure out to anything. I mean, it's just a little bit of moisture we're squeezing out this morning. It's gone later today. The cool temperatures here to stay, though, close to freezing this morning. That is only in the 40s later today. And the breezy conditions here, about 10 to 15 miles per hour to start. Those winds much lighter than what we had yesterday. David?
CNN and nonprofits are partnering up to provide a pathway for young people to pursue a career in coding. Cultivating Coders brings opportunities to communities that may be less likely to have access to it. Now, the two organizations will be working with each other to show young people the options they have when it comes to coding opportunities. Now, for more information on this, we posted a link at alwayson.krqe.com. Well, a team from the University of New Mexico is now working with NASA, all to help explore space research. UNM is one of 9 teams selected to study moon samples collected in the Apollo 17 mission almost 50 years ago. The internationally compiled team will soon head to Johnson Space Center in Houston. They will study the samples to see how people can use the soil on the moon. Check that out right there. The Lobos, they are waking up winners this morning after taking down the Wyoming Cowboys. And they, of course, did this in the Mountain West tournament. They took on the Cowboys last night, bringing home the victory 78-68. Tonight, they're set to take on the Utah State Aggies. This is all in the quarterfinals of course, the Mountain West tournament, taking place in Vegas. Tip-off slated for 7 p.m. A beloved cat is back home with her family this morning. It's all thanks to social media. Fire, the cat, went missing from the Chavez family home last July. Now, the family was convinced that they would never find her, but then last week, Fire turned up at an Espanola Humane, and they posted about it on her They posted about her on the Facebook. Within hours, the family picked her up. Fire is said to be in good health and spirits this morning and was not hurt. Kristen.
Time now for a check on that Thursday morning commute. Right now we don't have any crashes. However, we have the traffic lights not working correctly on Central between Coors and Rio Grande. So those are flashing red. Treat that as a 4-way stop. Everything looks pretty good at the Big I this morning.
Well, happy National Mathematical Pi Day. Today is March 14th. That's 3.14. So we celebrate the mathematical constant, which represents the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Now, according to nationaldaycalendar.com, the first major observance of Pi Day was back in 1988. It took place at the San Francisco Exploratorium.
Taking you back 28 years ago on this day, March 14th, 1991, we had a dust devil move through the parking lot of Albuquerque High School, and it actually damaged some vehicles there, blew out a few car windows. That was on this day 28 years ago. We take it now to the 5 facts, starting with number 5. The Lobos advancing in the Mountain West tournament this morning, now set to take on the Utah State Aggies. Lobos coming off a win yesterday against Wyoming. They're looking for another win to keep their tournament dreams alive. The Lobos beat the Cowboys 78-68. Tip-off for tonight's game in Vegas is slated for 7 p.m. and we wish them luck.
At number 4, a musical festival coming to Albuquerque is raising concerns. Parade of Bass is taking place at the Albuquerque Balloon Museum in May. Now, 6 years ago, a 14-year-old girl died from an overdose at a foam festival. This was at the fairgrounds. Now, her family sued the city, but the city says an event of this size goes through several city departments before getting the final okay. The organizers say they will work with APD to figure out how many officers and first responders they'll need for the event.
At number 3, looking at showers over the northern mountains today. That's where the accumulating snow will be. Most of us with the mix of sun and clouds, highs cooler than normal in the 40s. Most of us warming up and seeing a lot more sunshine heading into the weekend.
At number 2, legislators making big changes to New Mexico's education system. The bill now waiting the governor's signature. Both House Bill 5 and Senate Bill 1 passed. They provide teachers with a pay raise and give more funding to programs for at-risk students. They also allow schools to opt in for K-5+ programs that will extend instruction time for elementary students. And at number 1, cleanup will continue throughout New Mexico this morning. Take a look at the images right here. At least a dozen cars or semis being knocked around near Wagon Mound along I-25 yesterday. The high winds also derailing on an entire train near Logan. The roof of a school in Roswell had its roof ripped off. And, of course, whiteout conditions in the northern mountains. Now, wind gusts as high as 100 miles an hour were clocked near White Sands.